You're close with Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. Some of your fellow House Democrats say, and not just progressives, by the way, we've heard that moderates have said this too, that they're ready to support her to challenge Chuck Schumer in a Democratic primary. Would you get behind that?
That's 4 years from now. If you were asking me at least in 2 years, then I would have an absolute answer. But I can tell you that there are a lot of people that are watching his leadership in this moment. This is the moment. We don't even know what elections will look like in 4 years, if we will have elections. And so I definitely think that younger, fresher leadership may be something that many of us, not just depending on what part of the spectrum you're on, but many Americans may be looking for, especially in the state of New York.
That was the new face of the Democratic Party questioning whether we would still have elections in 4 years. They really have to show her more on TV. That would do wonders for the Republican Party. Democrats, on the other hand, aren't in a good spot right now. Senator Chuck Schumer is desperately trying to save his political career by going on any show that'll have him. And Iran threatens to bring war to the United States after airstrikes destroy Houthi targets. Now, I've got a lot to talk about with you guys today in today's video, starting with Chuck Schumer. So the senator is facing continued scrutiny from his own party. This is after he was praised by President Trump for making the right decision regarding the budget bill that they passed, something that many Democrats were very pissed off about. And while he's on media tour to save face, it seems as if he's only making things worse for himself. Here's Chuck Schumer talking about Americans and taxes.
You know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or, I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, my the land and water that I own, or my employees. They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
You saw Whoopi Goldberg at the side itching to stop Chuck Schumer here, right? Because she knows that this statement is going to get a lot of backlash. And notice how he claims that the government's job is to stop us from doing things. I'm guessing Chuck Schumer's also against the possible Doge dividend stimulus checks because, I don't know, that would give money back to Americans. Who would want that to happen? Now, before I go to another one of his interviews, I want to highlight someone else who seems to hate Americans getting money.
But in terms of no tax on tips, listen, I was a waitress, I was a bartender, I get it. And if you live off of tips, I get it. The one thing that I want people to think about is, even as a waitress, if any of you all else have gone like completely mad with every single job being a tipped job with an iPad screen now, like especially during COVID. I mean, it's even to the point where the freaking self-checkouts at the airport get tip screens. If you are tired of that, I do think it's important for us to recognize the danger of every job becoming a tipped job. And all of us then now having to pay each other's wages, not just in waitressing, not just in bartending. I'm talking about everything. And I think it's just a precipice that we all need to think about, because there's a very careful and slippery slope here that we just need to pause and consider, because then we can very easily enter a world where no one is paid, where like no one's employer is like actually paying their wages, and we're all just tipping each other and essentially GoFundMeing the entire economy.
Is it surprising to hear AOC be against no tax on tips? Didn't she used to be a waitress? Has she forgotten her heritage? Because I vividly remember that Kamala Harris was supportive of this idea from President Trump. Remember? Kamala Harris stole Trump's idea and tried to promote it like it was her own, which makes you question why some of these Democrats hate it when Americans have extra cash in their pockets. Do Democrats just want Americans to be broke? Now, Chuck Schumer, he wanted to let everyone know that he's still in control. Now, the problem is that the left may have already turned their back on him.
But there are people in your own party that are saying, look, it's time for you to go. They no longer trust your leadership. They want somebody else in there. What do you say about that?
Here's what I say.
In your own party saying
Yes.
you've got to go.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm the best leader for the Senate. We have a lot of leaders. You know, when you don't have a president, there's not one leader of the party. There are lots of them. We have a lot of good people. But I am the best at keep winning Senate seats. I've done it in 2005. Just in 2020, no one thought we'd take back the Senate. Under my leadership, we took it. So we now are executing.
You're not going anywhere.
We have a great. We're moving forward. Hakeem and I have a plan. Let me just say this. There's a real contrast between the parties. The Republican Party now, particularly in office, is the party of rich oligarchs who want to really screw every average American so they can get tax cuts for the rich. And we are fighting that every day. So
now, remember, this is CBS. They're mostly liberal. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below. But look at how these hosts react to Chuck Schumer's supposed plan to help Americans.
A day of action on Medicaid. In every state, in every corner of the country, Democrats are talking about they're going to Medicaid centers. They're going to people who would be deprived and
Senator, people don't have faith in the Democrats.
Well, let me say this. Look, and we're going to do this day in, day out on issues. Why are they doing tariffs and raising your cost $2,000? It's beginning to work. Why are they taking away Fannie and Freddie and raising your housing costs dramatically? It's beginning to work. His numbers have come down. If we keep at it every day, relentless fighting and showing how they're hurting people so badly, Trump's numbers will get much lower. And his both popularity, but also his effectiveness will decline. I believe that strategy will work.
Again, Democrats are clueless about actual numbers when it comes to President Trump. Or maybe Chuck Schumer is just doing his best to keep himself afloat as leader, which is why he's lying through his teeth right now. Because it's not President Trump who's struggling in terms of popularity. It's the Democratic Party.
Brand new polls do not look good. They paint a brutal reality for Democrats, while President Trump is soaring to new highs. Both of these entities setting records. So first, the Democrats. A new NBC News poll shows just 27% of voters have a positive view of the Democratic Party. That's the lowest positive rating in the last 35 years of NBC polling. And when you hop on over to CNN, they found that just 29% of voters see the party in a positive light. Now, that, too, is the lowest ever in CNN polling going back 30 years. Two historic lows for Democrats. President Trump, it's the opposite. He is surging. NBC found that Trump's job approval rating at 47%, plus his personable favorable rating at 46%, and also a 44% number of Americans who believe the country is on the right track, combined to be 3 all-time, all-record highs for President Trump's political career in the history of NBC's polling.
And this is the biggest problem for Chuck Schumer and for Democrats, because they can keep crying wolf and say that the president is hurting the country, that his tariffs will hurt our wallets. But what are they going to say when good things happen? Because they're going to have to acknowledge the success that President Trump has achieved. Although they can do what they've been doing right now, which is just ignoring his achievements. That's going to be tough to do if the president actually creates peace between Russia and the Ukraine, though. Speaking of which, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has just sent out a warning to countries who want to attack them, saying that any attack would be met with a devastating response. Now, this comes after President Trump sent a warning to their country regarding the Houthi rebels that continue to terrorize ships out in the Red Sea.
Warning tonight from President Donald Trump, Iran could suffer major consequences over further attacks from Houthi rebels. The Trump administration targeted the Iran-backed group in airstrikes over the weekend, killing at least 53 people. American officials say additional attacks on U.S. forces or commercial ships will be met with heavier action and greater force. The commander-in-chief says Iran would be responsible too, since it is the Houthis' main backer. Houthi supporters say more strikes will only unite their country more.
The American and Israeli strikes that fell on our great Yemeni people will not weaken us or defeat us, but rather they increase our determination and steadfastness in confronting the enemies of God.
Our message to Iran is you better take this president seriously, and I think the Houthis learned that the hard way.
Iran spoke to the UN Security Council earlier today and denied any destabilizing activity in the Middle East.
The message is clear, guys. If Iran doesn't want trouble, then they should stop supporting these Houthi rebels. Now, we're just going to have to see what transpires here, but I think it's obviously getting serious, with some predicting that one wrong move could steer the United States into a full-blown war, especially as these Houthis have already said that they're not dialing down their actions towards shipping in the Red Sea. Now, I want to hear you guys' thoughts regarding this. Who do you think would yield first between us or these rebels? Now, switching gears here for a second, guys, I want to link you to a recent live stream that I did. I talked about this huge update from President Trump regarding files that the American people have asked for. This includes the Epstein files, MLK files, and JFK files. Make sure you guys check that out. As always, appreciate you guys' time. Thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. We'll see you next time.